So the purpose of this screencast is to show students how to access their Lumosity accounts. So it starts out if you don't have an account and you're using a Chromebook in order to access the Lumosity account. So the URL is right up here, lumosity.com. You type that into your search bar and it should bring you to this site, and you hit get started now. This will bring you to a page that asks you a few questions involving memory, attention, speed, flexibility, and problem solving. And these are all categories that Lumosity is going to create games to train your brain with. So you really don't need to answer these questions, but if you'd like to personalize your Lumosity account a little bit, you can choose some of these options. So it says select all aspects of your memory that you want to challenge. So I think I need a little bit of work with remembering patterns and locations and keeping track of multiple pieces of information in my head. So I'd click those and hit next. But if you're trying to access the Lumosity app a little bit faster, you can just go ahead and click next through these things. Then it'll ask you some information about you, your first name, your gender, and also asks about education, job, how did you hear about us. Again, you don't need to really answer these questions though, so if you keep hitting next, it'll bring you to a trainer customization. So it has a few questions about, other things that can help personalize your training on Lumosity. I'm just going to skip these for now. And here it is generating a training program. So it generates a program for me, and since I've already been playing, I have already scores in all these categories. But if you're a new student, you won't have any scores in these categories yet because you just haven't played any games yet. So once you get to the screen and you've added all your other information, mine automatically logged in, as you can see up here, but it will ask you some other information, mostly just your email, your first name, and a password. And once you enter those things in, it'll create a training program for you, and you get to play 3 games a day with your free trial account. So if you go ahead and hit start training, it'll bring you to the first game. And before that, it'll ask you, just how are you feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good. And I only got like 7 hours of sleep last night. It was back to school day. So go ahead and hit the next one. And then here's my first game that I'm going to play. This one's called Ebb and Flow. It's going to test my flexibility and my ability to task switch, which is the process of adapting to changing circumstances, switching from one goal to another. So real quick, I'm just going to show you an example of the first game, and it teaches you how to play each one. I've already played it, so I kind of already know how to play. So it gives you a quick tutorial on what you need in order to play. For ebb and flow, you need to pay attention to the color of the leaves. For yellow leaves, you always hit the direction whichever way they're moving. For green leaves, you have to point in the direction that the leaf is pointing in. And it makes sure that you get the hang of it before you move on to the actual game. It's important to note that each one of these games is going to have a little tutorial if you've never played it before. So now I'm actually going to play the real game this time. So here's the real thing that's going to give me a score at the end. And so that's the end of the first game. It calculates a score, and if you have a score history, it can actually compare it to some of your other scores. So this is the first time I played it on a computer, so that's a score I got today, and then you would move on to the next game. For the purpose of this screencast, I'm going to end it here and not show you all 3 games that you get to play. And this is to show students that, your brain is a muscle and that you can keep training it to get better at things. And I think that a lot of the games on Lumosity actually translate well into a lot of real life activities. For instance, maybe you're juggling 2 tasks at once. Some of the games on Lumosity do exactly that and train you in that. So this was a screencast of how to log on and play games in Lumosity. Thank you.